Hello friends, this is Amir Malik. Today we are going to discuss counter loop in Java, means for loop. First of all, I need to tell you that why do we use a loop? Basically, a loop is a technique in any programming language where we can, basically that technique is used to repeat a statement or a set of statements for any given number of times or on the basis of a condition. Whatever statement we are going to write within the loop statement will iterate according to the numbers given in the loop or according to the condition given in the loop. So this is called a loop. So there are two basic types of loops in all programming languages. One is called conditional loop and second is called counter loop. So in counter loop, basically there is a counter which tells us that this loop is going to be repeated this particular number of times. So we already know the number of iterations or number of repetitions. But for the conditional loop, there is no counter. There is a condition. So on the basis of that condition, the loop repeats itself. So till the time your statement or your condition is true, the loop will be executed and it will be stopped when the condition is false. Today we are going to discuss counter loop. In Java we have to say it is a for loop. So if you just look at this statement, for integer I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and this is written in this round bracket, and then in curly bracket we just used a print statement where we are printing the value of I. Basically we can use as many statements in these curly brackets as we want according to the requirement of the program. So let's check it out, like how the counter loop, like the for loop, works in Java. So we'll go back to Replit, and the Replit is the online platform we are using to to basically practice Java codes. So this is a main class with a main method, and here I'm going to write the syntax for loop. So for, and in this round bracket we have to write the syntax for the for loop. So first of all we have to declare a loop control variable. Normally it is an integer with a single letter A, B, C, D or I or whatever you want. So integer I and then semicolon, and then there will be a condition, we have to give the starting value of I, and that can be 1, and then we can use I is less than equal to 10 semicolon, and then increment or decrement statement, and that is I plus plus, which means that I is equal to I plus 1. I is incremented with one value every time the loop is basically repeated. So now after writing this statement, we'll have to use these curly brackets. So these curly brackets are used for the loop, for the statements used with this for loop. So whatever we will write, this block will be repeated on the basis of this for loop. And this is a counter loop because a counter is given here, and this counter variable is I. The initial value is 1 and it will be incremented with one value. So I will become 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. When I becomes, the loop will be executed if the I is less than 10, and the last value will be when I is equal to 10, means I is 8, 9 and then 10, and then I will be incremented with one value. The value of I will become 11, and the loop will be stopped because now this condition is not true because 11 is not less than or equal to 10. So this is the way we can write this loop statement. You can even write it in this way, like if you want, there is no problem in it, this way. You can even write it in this way, and there will be no error in it. But normally there is a way to write this statement, and normally we use this way to write it. Okay, so now I'm going to print something. I'm going to use system.out.println, and here I'm going to write the value of I. So I'm going to print the value of I. Let's see what is the output if I'm going to run the program. And okay, let's wait for the output and see. It is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So how does it work? So first, the value of I is 1. Because it is less than 10, condition is true, so this statement will be executed, which is at line number 7, which says that we have to print the value of I. And because value of I was 1, so 1 was printed. Then I is incremented with one value, I becomes 2. This condition will be checked. 2 is less than 10, yes. Again, this statement will be printed. Now the value of I is 2, so 2 will be printed. Now again it will be incremented, I becomes 3. Condition will be checked. 3 is less than 10, yes, condition is true, so this will be printed again, the value of I, which is 3, so 3 will be printed. And just like this way, I will be incremented. I will become 4 5 6 7 8 9, and all these numbers will be printed because they are less than 10. Then it will be incremented and it will become 10. 10 will be printed. Then it will be incremented with 1 and it will become 11. But now 11 is not less than 10, so condition will be false and loop will be stopped. And because after the loop there is no statement, nothing to execute, so your program will be finished. So this is the way your program can work. Okay, now there are different ways to write this for statement. You can use it for like increment statement. You can as an increment, you can use it as a decrement. For example, if we start the value of I with 10 and we say that it is condition should be it is greater than 0, and then we have to decrement the value, and now it will start from 10. 10 is greater than 0, yes, condition is true, so the value of I will be printed, that is 10. Then it will be decremented with one value, it will become 9. 9 is greater than 0, it will be printed, and so on. So let's run the program and let's see how is the output. So see, 10 9 8 7, and because last value was 1, 1 is greater than 0, it will be printed, and then it will be decremented. 1 minus 1, it will become 0, and then the condition will be checked. 0 is not greater than 0, condition is false, loop will be stopped, and your program will also be stopped. So this is the way increment or decrement can be used. You can use like multiple increment or decrements. Like if I give an increment of 2, so I can use it like I plus 2, like as we use I is equal to I plus 2, the same way. So this is the way we can use I is equal to I plus way, or we can use I plus equal 2. So this is another way to give the increment or decrement. But now you can see that now this increment is of 2 numbers, not 1 number. So let's see what is the result. So I will start with 1, it will go till less than or equal to 10, and increment is of 2 numbers. So let's run it. and odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is the way you can print odd numbers, as many odd numbers as you want. So I can print it like less than 25, and I'm going to run it, and you can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 till 23. All the numbers will be 25. So all the numbers are printed because it is less than equal to 25. So the last number will be 25. If we have to print even numbers, even numbers interval, or the increment will be 2, because like even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Upper limit can be any limit, but from where we should start the numbers, because if we started with 1, obviously 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 2 5, again odd numbers will be printed, so we should start it with 2. So now starting with 2, an increment of 2, so 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 8, and you can see that we can print all the even numbers between 1 and 25. So 2, 4, 6, 8 till 24, all the numbers are printed. So this is the way you can use a simple for loop. Okay, one more thing. If I'm not using this I here and I'm writing something else like Pakistan Zindabad. Okay, so I'm printing this. Okay. Now let's see what happens, because it is a string, so we have to write it in quotation marks, and I'm going to run it. Oh, so only Pakistan Zindabad is printed many times. So why? Okay, the reason is this I is just a loop variable. So we gave it a value 1. So in the memory, there is a memory cell, there is a variable with the name I, and the value 1 is stored in that variable. Now the loop is executed very first time, so 1 is stored in the variable, and this statement will be executed. It will just print Pakistan Zindabad very first time. Then loop will go back. I will become 2. It is less than 25. Yes. So now 2 will be saved in that variable, and because we are not displaying the value of variable on the basis of that variable, we are just printing Pakistan Zindabad. So this is the way we can print this. Okay, now what can I do is, if I okay, let's see this, and now I is equal to 1, I is less than 5, so 5 times the value of I will be printed, and 5 times Pakistan Zindabad will be printed. So how you can see this? So 1 Pakistan Zindabad, 2 Pakistan Zindabad, 3 Pakistan Zindabad. So first the value of I is 1, the value of I will be printed, Pakistan Zindabad will be printed. Then I becomes 2, 2 will be printed, Pakistan Zindabad will be printed, and so on. Okay, one very important thing, if you want to use this I after the loop, you cannot use it, because this variable is loop variable, which is initialized and declared within the loop. So when the loop is finished, you cannot use this variable I. Okay, let's check it. So see, error, and the error is variable I. Why? Because this variable I is declared and initialized here in the loop. So when the loop is finished, you cannot access this variable. If you want to access this variable, then what you can do is you have to initialize it here, integer I, and I have just declared it, and now I want to initialize it, so I don't need to write integer again, and I just write I is equal to 1. So declaration of the variable integer I is here, and then in the loop I'm using I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus. Now this I can be used here, and the result will surprise you that what is the last value. Okay, let's wait for the output and see 1 Pakistan, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 values also given there. Why? Okay, let me tell you. The initial value of I is 1, so 1 printed, Pakistan's in the bath printed, then 2 and Pakistan's in the bath, 3 in Pakistan, 4 in Pakistan, 5 and Pakistan's in the bath printed, then I plus plus, so I becomes 6. So when this condition is checked, 6 is not less than equal to 5, so condition is false, loop will be stopped, program will this control will come out of the loop, and the last value of I was 6 when this condition was checked. I was 6 and 6 is not less than equal to 5, so loop was stopped, but the value of I, last value of I was 6. So when the control comes out of this loop block, the value of I will be printed, that is 6. So guys, this is the way you can use this for loop. You can use it in many ways. For example, I'm going to show you this program. You already know that how can you take value from the user. So this program takes a value from the user, please enter any number, and then we are saving it in this variable, and the name of the variable is value, and now I'm using it like this. So I starts with 0. Okay, let's start it with 1. It is less than equal to 10, and it is increment, like you can use it in both ways. I'll explain it later, that what is the difference between plus plus I or I plus plus. Okay, and now you are going to print it in this way, and these are called formatted values. Like you can format your values. Like first of all, we need the value, whatever is stored here. For example, the user can give the value 5 or 10 or 7, that will be stored in value. Then I is this variable, and its value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 will be the last one. And third is value into I, means 10 into 1, 10 into 2, 10 into 3. You can guess what will be the output. Okay, let's see. So it will ask the user, please enter any number, and user is going to give it like 9, and see 9 into 1, 92, 92, and the final is 9 into 10. And here you can use to basically display a multiplication table. So this is the way you can use this for loop, because the value of I is changing from 1 to 10. So basically this this second value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is the value of I. This 999 is the value given by the user, and the value into I is this final output, 9, 18, 27, 36. So guys, this is the way you can use for loop in Java. In next videos, we will discuss about conditional loop, like while loop in Java, and then nested loops. So don't forget to watch all my videos, and one more thing, don't forget to subscribe my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, have a nice day.